What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. The state of California. The state of California has placed the entire level 3 and level 4 inmate population on lockdown. Apparently the politicians in Sacramento, by politicians I mean those that are running the CDC, apparently they're fed up with officers getting stabbed, officers getting attacked, officers getting whacked. It was okay when it was convicts killing convicts, inmates killing inmates. That was fine. That was perfectly okay. But for some reason, the officials, the politicians in Sacramento think that correctional officers are going to be treated any differently than anyone else. I don't know where they got that idea from. The politicians in Sacramento, they've been orchestrating this whole thing ever since Pelican Bay SHU got shut down. Ever since they had to let everybody out of the SHU, they've been working on this. Let me tell you something right now. I know as far as Southerners, it came down in, I believe it was 1996. If you touch a cop, there better be a good reason. Because the heat wasn't worth it. If a cop disrespects you, then you as an individual handle that. I remember getting schooled by one of the legends early in my prison career. And he told me there's two ways you deal with a cop. This is a very, very well-known individual. He said there's two ways you deal with a cop. You either 602 him or you whack him. A 602 is an inmate appeal. So you either write up an appeal or you whack them. You don't drag other people in. You don't put toilet paper over your windows. You don't hold your trays. You don't do all that extra stuff that involves other people, that drags other people in. You handle your business as a man, one way or the other. 602 or you whack him. So as far as the raza, the Mexicans from Southern California, it was like, you're not going to let anybody disrespect you, whether they're wearing green or blue, convict or cop. But you don't go out of your way to assault cops. And the cops knew that. All these staff assaults that are happening right now, they're not something that's happening just for no reason. There's something going wrong. I remember before I left prison in 2017, the new breed of CO that was coming around was very different than what they were when I entered in the 90s. Like I busted in 93, I hit the state in 94. The cops, the guards, let me say it that way. The guards that were there when I got there were completely different than the correctional officers they have now. When I hear these newer COs talking about they took the job to fight crime, the mindset is different then. You don't understand. You can't stop crime. You can't fight crime in there. You got your job mixed up. You should be a sheriff on the streets. You should work for a police department on the streets if that's what you want to do. But when you go to work every day and you're dealing with men that have absolutely nothing to lose and a heart full of hate, and you come in as a superhero, it might not work out for you. Everybody has a job to do in prison. Everybody has a job to do. Okay? But I place all blame on the politicians in Sacramento, the director of corrections and his cohorts. I place all the blame on them. I believe they are obsessed with slamming everybody back down again, putting everybody back in Pelican Bay, filling it back up. Here's the bad thing. Here's the thing I don't think people understand. Prior to them letting everybody out of the shoe, when they had everybody slammed down and caged like animals for no damn reason, it was hard to get validated. Validation in the state prisons over here in California is basically this. You get investigated. They have to have at least 3 sources of information to prove that you are either a member or an associate of one of the big 4 prison gangs. Once they have that information, they send it to Sacramento. They build a packet up and they send it to Sacramento. And the state of California will identify you as either a member or an associate of whichever group they have you identified as. You will go in the database and be there for the rest of your life. And they will take you off the yard, throw you up in Pelican Bay or Corcoran or Tehachapi, but you'd go sit in one of the shoes forever. It wasn't easy to get validated back then. They usually had to find way more than 3 sources, because not all sources, all the 3, if they only have 3 and try to get you, 1 or 2 might not hold up. And they know it. So they wait till they have enough info, enough stuff, and then they hit you with that validation, right? Well, ever since they've let everybody out, I'm sure they're validating guys left and right. They see who you live with. They see who you walk the yard with. There's a lot of stuff that they can use against these guys now because the fellas are out there. So when Pelican Bay opens back up, because sooner or later they will slam everybody down again, guess what? All you guys that got newly validated, that are running around fronting yourselves off, you're going to get snatched up. The CDC is evil. These guys have a plan, man. My understanding is Salinas Valley State Prison is going to go on another hunger strike. I applaud that. Peaceful protests get attention. If cops start getting knocked down, cops start getting hit because of this lockdown, the lockdown's going to be permanent for some people. And that's unfortunate. I never agreed that people should be slammed down. If you kill somebody, you go sit down in the shoe for a little while, few years, get back out. But if the cops think you're somebody, you may or not be who they think you are. Didn't matter. If the cops think you're somebody, they throw you in the shoe and you can sit in there 20, 30 years. You didn't break a rule. I don't agree with that. That's where the CDC was wrong. Now, I know for a fact, when I was doing my thing in there, again, I was a nobody. I had responsibilities in certain places. And I know when I was doing my thing, dudes were telling on me every fucking day. It's a reality. I remember a cop, the same cop I always mention, Zap. He told me, every time somebody gets hit on this yard, I get in the ambulance with them. And every one of them eats a block of queso with your name on it. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. So I bring that up for this reason. Every cop that works a building knows who in their building is trying to program and who in their building is a gangster, wants to be a gangster and a killer. So if every cop in every building knows this, and every cop that works a yard is able to see who's programming and who's trying to be a gangster, then that means Sacramento would know that too, if they just ask. The guys that want to program, put them on a yard together. The guys that want to be killers, put them on a yard together. Back in the days, you had to be, I believe, 30 or 33 years old to go to Folsom. All the youngsters went to San Quentin. Why can't they do that again? Establish yards that are for programmers. Establish yards for killers. That would solve some of the problems. The guys that want to program, thousands and thousands and thousands of lifers have gone home since the passage of SB 260. Less than 1% of them return to prison. There are thousands of men behind those walls that are programming, that are going to self-help, that are going to college, that are getting degrees, that want to come home, and they will be productive if released. There are hundreds of men who want to be killers. Let them do what they do. The CDC needs to be doing better. The taxpayers need to understand the game that's being played. The politicians in Sacramento, the administration, they see convicts, they see inmates as dollars. $100,000 to house an inmate per year, minimum in California. The taxpayers need to know this. $100,000 per inmate. You think they want to let programmers go? You think they want to see 10, even one lifer go home? It's $100,000 walking out. No. They want to mix the PC and active population to create turmoil. They want to mix enemies. It's all job security. It's all about keeping that money in there. Somebody needs to audit the CDC. Let the taxpayers know how come it costs so much money to house an inmate. Let us taxpayers know where our money's going. I will always say prison should not be punishment. There's a lot of people that disagree with me, and it's guys that have never been there. Over 80% of those that are sent to prison return back to society. Why should we punish them and put more hatred in their heart? We have them in a place that we can offer rehabilitation, education, a broadening of the mind, so that when they get out, maybe they'd like to stay out this time. I don't know how long this lockdown is going to last, but you did it right before Father's Day. You shut the tablets down. It's not a coincidence. You guys could have locked them down on Monday. People, Pay attention to what's going on in Sacramento. People need to send letters, call. But you know who you call and send letters to? Not the administration, not the CDC. No, your city councilman, your state senator. Those are the ones. And you tell them, I gave you my vote. I need this looked into. You don't go to the CDC and write to the CDC. Why would you do that? They don't care. Look at what they're doing. Write your councilman, councilwoman, senator, assembly person. And you tell them, you want my vote again? Get on this. They will. They want your vote. That's my video for today, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.